Greetings, lambs. Greetings, cretins. I'm Pahana's helper. A little easier on the neck that way. A little, I'm trying to enunciate, a little easier on the neck, as the regular fanatics, as the regular watchers already know. I'm going to use my narrator's voice today. Today's playing list, the music which you may be hearing if I have the volume up high enough, is music of harp and dulcimer. I'm going to provide a link to this playing list for you. I think I recommend it. I am not about Hopi culture. I'm Pahana's helper. I'm in the Hopi prophecy. I'm not trying to teach Hopi culture, at least not at this time, or at least not in this video scope. Moreover, I'm about natural lifestyle. This is what you're going to learn about if that's what you want to learn about. And natural tech. Natural as opposed to radio waves, plastic, petroleum derivatives, and electromagnetic fields. Those are not natural. Maybe we don't know the natural tech yet. Some of it we do. I'm not an expert on it, but I just want to say, let's go and develop it. Let's go and find it. Now, the Bible, which we call the Holy Writ, has nothing to say against astrology. The word astrology is not mentioned in any of the criticisms or prohibitions. The word astrology is not used. The translations are suggestive that it might mean astrology, but they're wrong if you go to the source text. This video is being done under my chart. An aspect of the asteroid Oceana is conjunct my first house, Aphrodite. Now, the method by which we're going to develop a civilization, if you want to call it that, which is a wrong word, because civilis means city. Cities can use this method to become rural cities, if you wish. You have urban gardening now. But the method we use is called the network of bricks. A brick is a family unit of 5 to 7 families based on a particular interest. In this case, it may be re-ruralizing, it may be just natural tech. Whatever the recruiter of the brick determines is going to be the basis of that brick's interest, that's it. This network is a siblinghood. The word brotherhood has a lot of appeal, but not for women. So it's a siblinghood. A sibling means a brother or a sister, don't it? And later on in this video scope, I will give to you more lore telling to you how you can learn more about this network. It's a network for our protection and to achieve the lifestyle that we want. Because I'm not Ptheuah. That was an error. Because I'm Pahana's helper, and he does not call himself Pahana, you won't find him by searching the word Pahana, okay? He's alive. He tours the world constantly and speaks. Because I'm his helper, I have the grace to create a network wherein for you to be protected. But only if you participate. The safety and comfort and that of the folks of Earth, your safety and comfort and that of the folks of Earth lean upon your working with me. Hopi prophecy says, if I flub, then many, many will be slain. So take this seriously, kiddos. Lambos, sorry. It's up to you to make this work, right? So participate, or accept the responsibility for the deaths of those many, many people. It's up to you to join and participate. Near the end of this video scope, you will learn how to do it. By Jiminy. Gosh. So what I wanted to talk about is the boycott. Finally getting to the point, hey, I guess. The boycott of the corporations. Walmart, golly, we don't have to shop at Walmart. In the first place, if you feel like you're so scrimped for money, go into business. There's no money in jobs. Not enough. Job is really a high-level form of slavery. At least not with the employers that we have now. You could become an employer. Maybe you can't. If you're incapable of being a business person, maybe one of your friends or family members is, and you can induce them to go into business and work with them. That's the only way we can afford in the short term future, that's the only way we can afford to boycott. I'm sorry, that might be a false statement, but that will help. That will help. I've got other suggestions here too. You'll hear about them momentarily. Now, for going into business, starting from zero, there's a fellow named Dan Kennedy that teaches you how to do it. That's his specialization. He's acclaimed by everybody. He's made millionaires out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. So I'll put a link below. If you're interested in learning how to develop a business, that's where I recommend. I'm not saying he's a good guy, but he's the best at teaching you how to start a business from nothing. All the other people that teach people how to start a business from nothing are all his students. They're his pupils. He's the hub of all of that. So now one of the ways we want to involve our people, the people that have formed BRICS, we want to involve you in a distribution network. That's part of our network. as a network of distribution, making things available to you affordably that does not come from the corporations, or that minimizes the corporate middleman, at least. Get stuff locally if you can. Now, I had to buy a scarf. To get a scarf that wasn't made from petroleum, from plastic, that was made from wool or cotton, I had to pay somebody $50, which was less than what they deserved for it, the amount of time they put in. But they were willing to sell it to me for $50. That's a high budget for a scarf. That's buying locally. So that's why I say, if you're going to buy locally, you're going to have to spend more. You have to be willing to spend more than what Walmart would charge you for it. And in order to afford that, go into business. Maybe you're already in business, so I apologize if you're already in business. But that obviously was addressed to folks who might have never even conceived of the idea. Okay, so then there's buy from the farmer's market and be willing to pay more. And if you can't budget more, go into business. Concentrate on your business. Be responsible. Be a grown-up. You know, in a way, having a job is like continuing to be a child. The boss is like a parent. You're making decisions for you. So grow up. Join the fight. Farmers markets, we know about those. They're popping up everywhere. Very worthwhile. Some of them are witches, you know, but the corporations are Satanists and they do human sacrifice, and they're causing all the wars. So, and replacing, you know, the replacement population and all that stuff. Oh, just about any atrocity you can imagine is attributable to the corporations and to, well, the people that own and run the corporations. Let's not quibble here. A particular corporate employee, high level, might not be doing specifically anything towards a war, but he's enriching the people who are through his job. Grow stuff yourself. Everybody should have some kind of a garden. I got one in the front and one in the back. I have a dandelion patch in the front. I've got peonies, garlic mustard, cheeses is a plant. It's not cheese. Ground ivy. Peonies are edible. You can make vegetable stock out of every part of it. You can eat the pith from the inner stem. You can eat the tender leaves, the flowers, once you shake the ants off of them gently. The roots are edible, but they have a very strong, weird flavor, so you would want to use it just a tiny little bit. And harvest wild plants. Learn to identify and harvest edible wild plants. This Japanese knotweed that's been growing up around the south. Around here, we're in just below the Dixie line here. The tender leaves, the tall plant, they tell you to eat the small shoots in the spring, but you can also eat the tender leaves at the tip of the twigs. And there's lots of them. You go down to a creek somewhere where it's growing, and if you're the type of person that likes that kind of detail, like berry picking and that kind of stuff, you can collect quite a good number, a basket full of those in a while. Eat them raw, cook them, whatever. Add them to soups and stews and stuff. Hunt. Animal that chews the cud and parts the hoof. Deer, antelope, elk, moose, I don't know, whatever. Plus, birds, turkeys, ducks, geese. Raise geese. In our town, we can, they passed a law we're allowed to raise chickens here. In the complex where I live in, we have to pay an extra fee. Raise goats. Raise cows, sheep. Now all these things I'm talking about, your garden, your sheep, goats, chickens, geese, cows, as big as you feel capable of. Start small. I mean, if you're a beginner, get a lot of help, get advice, start small. But you can maybe sell some of this stuff. That could be part of your business. It could be one angle of your business. Study the Amish. They've got it all together. Really intensively study the Amish. Their economy is nearly perfect. The genuine Amish, not the compromised ones. Buy something wholesale and resell it. Get cases of something. Become known as the guy that sells that in your brick, in your community. Pick something that you use, perhaps, or that other people want on a regular basis. You run into them, you have some in your car, in your pocket, or whatever, in your saddlebag. Okay. Make something. Create, this town I live in, Frostburg, Maryland, is pottery central. You got like 100,000 potters here, all making plates and pots, mugs and stuff. You can weave. I knew this one lady, she had an electric loom in her basement, and her only job was making knit hats and selling them to stores on her loom. All day long she'd be in the loom making knit hats, and then she'd sell them to stores. That was a good business for her. She lived in a nice neighborhood, was well provided for. So it wasn't like handicrafts. It wasn't like these expensive. It was real cheap hats she was making because she had electric loom. But handicrafts take a lot of time. Then you have to sell them for hire. So the people that are your prospective customers, they have to be in business to be able to afford to buy your crafts. Some of them don't. Some families have ideally, if the wife is a housewife and the husband is a breadwinner, then the husband should be in business. A lot of times you have multiple incomes in a household, but that's not a natural lifestyle. It's not. We need volunteers for the Chaplains Corps. Now, a lot of our disadvantages and the things that are wrong have been caused by sorcery. To protect against sorcery, we need to have chaplains, not only for their prayers and goodwill, but to teach us how to live in a manner in which we're not guilty of doing things that we don't even know that are wrong, or not doing, omissions and commissions. So the chaplains are there to teach us. So the Chaplains Corps. So if you the chaplains mostly, now this can't be a very stiff rule, because some of the Israelites went to Samoa. Samoans are part Israelite. How much they preserved that bloodline, I don't know. But if your ancestry was involved in the Reformation, then you may well be qualified for the Chaplains Corps. So I'll put a link below the video scope if you're interested in finding out more about it. If your family, if your ancestry was involved in the Reformation. If you don't know what the Reformation is, it's easy to find out on the internet if you have internet, assuming you have internet. I don't blame you. I admire people who don't use the internet. And in Appalachia here, there are more of them than you would imagine, unless you're in Appalachia yourself. So the Children of Wodin is a special Chaplains Corps. This is Children of Wotan have no, or nearly no dermal melanin, narrow faces, blue eyes. There's a book called The 5 Races of Europe, and these were arrived at by statistical analysis, by taking millions, hundreds of thousands of measurements of skulls, and finding locations where certain measurements prevailed using statistical analysis. So the Nordic race is described in that book, and I'm partly of the Nordic race, but also partly, my dad had the Dinaric race, which appears to be a hybrid between the Nordic and the Mongolian race. The Swedes, my mother had yellowish skin. My skin's like really red, but reddish. I mean, it's reddish pink, but it has yellowish in it. I got from my mother because in Sweden, they're next to Finland. So Finland was Mongoloid, and now it's blonde because the Swedes interbreeding there. And the Sweden was Nordic, but now it's mixed with the Mongoloid, so they have these crooks in their noses and little noses and yellowish skin, something like my mother had. So what's the point here? Okay, so I'm saying this is another Chaplains Corps that you may be qualified for, so I'll put a link for that if you think you qualify and you want to. The Children of Wodin, Wodin, same thing. It's Wednesday. It's named after. Oops, I just remembered to enunciate. The Children of Wotan are the guardians of water. Now the corporations are striving to get a monopoly on water. Water used to be free. They've poisoned the tap water. We need the Children of Wotan to tackle this water situation, to make water free again and available for everybody, to know how to get it in the desert, how to find it, how to get it from trees, how to purify it if they find it muddy, and most likely to go into business of selling water for a while until we have a better access to it, until we've gotten the fluoride out of the taps and whatnot. Okay? Children of Wotan, low dermal melanin. They have necks, they're not like this. Narrow face, deep set eyes, blue eyes. If that fits you, now our network involves everybody. This is just a particular core of the network. Any race can form a brick in our network, okay? And we'll protect you if you do. All right? As long as, you don't offend, you don't do anything offensive. Yeah, oh, the children, there's the souls of the children of Wodin have to be of mankind, not of reptilian. There are the reptilians have done what's called gene hijacking, and they've acquired a lot, you know, they have some of the Nordic traits superficially, but at heart, they're not children of Wotan. Now they're welcome to form a brick, but not to be in the children of Wotan, in spite of the fact that they might look suitable. So, those are my suggestions, and we'll develop them more on this YouTube channel in detail, God willing. Pahana, the elder brother, is alive on Earth today. He is the same as the genuine, not the counterfeit, the genuine Maitreya. There is a counterfeit Maitreya. There's a counterfeit Jesus. So far as I know, the second coming never said that the name Jesus would be used. It's in chapter 19 of the book of Revelation. It just says a guy on a white horse wearing a crown, not the same crown as the earlier guy on a white horse, which was a crown, a laurel crown of the emperors. This is the same as Maitreya, and the same as Pahana, and he's alive, he's here. So, I'm not going to tell you who he is on this. I'll put a link. You got to take some action. You don't expect everything to be delivered right to your door. When I was a little boy, I learned about wishing on a star. Because Walt Disney, when you wish upon a star. So that was a very atheistic, or kind of a blasphemous suggestion to pray to a star, wish, pray, what's the difference? So my parents said, the first star you see, and you recite this little rhyme, starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight, I wish I may, I wish I might have this wish, I wish tonight. So I wished for a tent. I don't know, I must have been 3 or 4 years old, and I wanted a tent. You know, outdoor, because that's 7 lifetimes as a Skraeling. I love sleeping outdoors. So I went out in the living room and told I looked out the bedroom window, saw a star, did the recitation, wished for a tent. I said, I was really confident. I told my parents, look, be ready, because any minute now a tent is going to be delivered to our front door. And it never came. I finally got a tent about 15 years later. But what was the point of that? I forgot. So, when we all practice the most satisfying knowledge that is given but not told, it's given. It's not knowledge that's told, it's knowledge that's given. By him, Pahana, which he doesn't call himself. I'm only using the word because this is a channel that was made for people that are searching for Hopi stuff. And I'm the fulfillment of the Hopi prophecy, which doesn't say that I'll succeed, because succeeding is up to you. So if you get as many people, start a brick, form the network, have mutual aid, emergency fund, that kind of stuff, resources,